Hello everyone, and welcome to the channel. Today I just want to present 12 best Steel Division 2 divisions, just for quick play or ranked play, relaxed divisions which you can pick and will be able to defeat any opponent on any map, just for relaxed play. And let's start with Allied divisions. First one will be 7th Mechanized Corps, a division without any weaknesses. Generally, all of the divisions which I will present today don't have any weaknesses, they work on every map against any opponent, with maybe one or two exceptions. Other divisions don't have any weakness at all. And like this one, we have very strong air, artillery, AA, anti-tank, support, tanks, infantry. Yes, it's standard Soviet infantry, however, it's not bad. You have Strelki DP for long range, Tankodesantniki for close range. This infantry will get the job done. Also, you have phenomenal recon with Carrier Dushka. You have bazookas. Yes, you don't have these two. This is maybe a weakness, however, Su-85 and Isu-122 will get you out of any troubles anyway. And yes, you don't have any AT planes, however, again, you have Isu-122 for almost any, to kill any tank except maybe Ferdinand and Tiger IIs. And you have mediocre fighter, however, even this fighter will get the job done against, for example, recon planes, etc, etc. And you have a good bomber airplanes anyway. As an artillery, you need to rely only on Su-76, however, this is a good artillery piece, it will get the job done as well, and if you're a fan, you can take Katyusha as well. And a good off-map. Phenomenal 2KHE, Su-122 and Su-152, and unique thing for Soviet divisions, Dushka, DSHK. Only 2 or 3 Soviet divisions have those, so I recommend to take that. And as a tanks, it's a phenomenal mix of tanks, good support for your infantry. Division, as I said, can beat any opponent on any map. Next one. 9th Guard Cavalry Division. It was once one of the worst divisions of the game, however, developers gave a lot of buffs simultaneously and made this division one of the best in the game right now. This is one of the exceptions in my list. It can perform on every map except 2K map. Purely 2K map, and the only pure 2K map in the game right now is Slutsk West. So Slutsk West is the only map where this division won't perform well. Usual Slutsk and Slutsk East, they don't fully 2K, not fully 4K, they still have town, a bit of town. There this division can perform anyways. But Slutsk West, yes, it's GG. But since it's only one map of all the map pool, I decided to include this division as well. And even on Slutsk West, it's not that you don't have 2K tools at all, it's just pretty limited. But let's start from the air. It's phenomenal, maybe the best air tap of the Soviets. You have best Soviet fighter Was-7, Kozhedub, 2-2S, and Il-237 for anti-tank role. It's really phenomenal air. For the artillery tap, also very strong, A-19. You use it as a 2K AT and HE as well. Yes, it's pretty expensive for that, but you don't have any much choice anyway. And you still have Su-76 and a good off-map, and you can take Katyusha as well. For the AA, you have this 12 and 37mm. 80 tap is kind of a weakness, but you still have these two, and since the division received buff for AA, for 85 mil. You can take this now as your 80. It will get the job done. Pretty good support, but you need 2k from artillery. Very good tanks. A lot of people cry about Valentine's right now, but I think pretty okay tank right now, considering the divisions, except for 9 Scav where it performs, so it's pretty okay. You also have MCH and T-34. For the infantry, it's now much better. It got buff as well. And Kazaki Papasha. OP right now, it will get the price nerf. It will be 25, pretty deserved. Otherwise, to this 9 Scav, you always need to have 2 or 3 to 1 ratio to enemy. So on one enemy Panzer Grenadier, for example, you need to have 3 Kazaki. Otherwise, you won't win. But also the help, they are raiders, so they run pretty fast and have very good stealth. Also you have a lot of bazookas and all kinds of Osnas you can wish for, and a good light armor as well. On all the maps except Slutsvesk, it will perform. Next division, 84th Guard Infantry. Division without any weaknesses. For the long period of time this division was considered the best Soviet division, but I always make a remark that this division won't forgive you any mistake. If you made any mistake, one mistake in game, that's all, HGG, you won't win. Since you lose IS-2, 200 points minus, you lost. You lost IL-237, you lost, that's all. You can't afford to lose your light armor as well, you are pretty limited to that. But again, with aviation it's pretty good, worse than 9 Scav, but still, you have good bombers. You don't have good fighters, yes, but you have more availability on your IL-2. Make sure to turn off the bombs. The artillery almost identical to the 9 Scav as well. A19 Su-76 and good off map. Also you have Katyusha. Pretty good AA. This division don't have any weakness in AT department, unlike 9 Scav. You have plenty of these tools, and Su-76 you need to take them as your light armor. In support, again, cover 8 you need to take it, it's necessary, since again you don't have a lot of light armor, and for 2k you have ISU-152. As a tanks, you have phenomenal T-34 with good armor and good speed, and also plenty of IS-2s. This is a good one, you need to take them as a 2k-AT. You have pretty good Soviet infantry in face of Stravniki. However, the weakness of the division, in my opinion, a lack of tanker-desantniki really hurts them in CQC department. Superior rocks, in my opinion, are worse than tanker-desantniki in CQC, since you pay 30 points and this unit will still lose against tanker-desantniki, since it's basically long-range infantry squad with flamethrower. It's definitely worse than tanker-desantniki, so on CQC departments this division is on average weaker than any other Soviet division. And you have pretty okay recon as well. Division without any weaknesses, but you really need to learn how to play this. But if you master it, you should be able to beat anyone anywhere. Next division. Let's go to the Western Allies and start with American Force Armored. This division in a previous patch was considered OP, top 1 division. Right now I have no idea why it dropped off. It's not considered top 1 anymore. I guess it's because other divisions were buffed such that they now on par with this division. But still, you have pretty good but limited air. The same with artillery. You have a lot of options though. Good AA. And one of the weaknesses, as a 2k-AT you have only Hellcats with APCR. However, as Yapasa showed me, if you blob 4, 5 or 6 Hellcats together and add ammunition to them. This thing is pretty hard to beat, since no tank in game will be able to 6 versus 1 this. You need at least 2 of them, and even then you probably lose. Especially considering that APCR has a chance to one-shot any tank. Pretty funny matchups, I say, pretty fun unit to use because of that. But they die to one-shot. That's the thing to remember. You need to be careful with them. And you have M1 guns as well. For the 2K HE you have plenty of Shermans 105. And a phenomenal tank tab with Rhinos and 76 Shermans. For the infantry's only weakness is you don't have any flamers, you need to take flamethrowers from the support tab. Otherwise, pretty good infantry with a lot of bazookas, so it's very hard to play with white armor against this division, since bazookas are everywhere. You always will have a paranoia that every enemy infantry can have a bazooka. You afraid to use your armor more actively and may lose a lot of opportunities because of that, so pretty good infantry because of that. And good recon with M8s and more bazookas. Next up, 2nd Infantry Indian Head. Division always was considered strong, however there is only small amount of people who really can play this division. One of them, Yapasa, told me he likes to play this division. However, to be honest, when I played against him and he used this division, I didn't feel that it was that desperate. But still, in theory, this division can beat again everyone on any map. But I'd say this division is even harder to master than 84th. And 84th is really hard to play actually, and this one is harder as well. You need always to combine your infantry with artillery and be careful with your 2K assets, 2K AT assets. The same as with Force Armored, you have only APCRs as your 2K AT, and unlike Force Armored, you have only one card of Hellcats. So you need to take M10s. They have 10 health, unlike M18, but they are slower and a bit expensive. M5 guns, I'd suggest you use them as Pak 40, not like a 2K AT gun. They are better this way. Otherwise, you have a good artillery, good air, good AA, good support with howitzers and Shermans again, good tanks, you have Rhino as well, and infantry is stronger than Force Armored, but only because of Rangers. This unit will allow you to fight in CQC more bravery, maybe, more efficiently. However, this particular unit was nerfed a lot with its price and availability, so you don't have much of them to spend. And you, unlike Force Armored, you don't have a lot of bazookas, so you need to take them in recon or on AT. Also, because of its old division, it's actually not that easy to build. Slots are pretty expensive, so you need to be careful when building the division. Next division, we have 1st Special Service Brigade. This is a top 1 division right now, nothing beats that. On every map you will just single-handedly win anyone on any map. It's a ridiculously strong division. Actually, I've just recorded the Russian version of this video, and there I showed that this division actually so ridiculously OP that you can spend only 39 points and this division still will beat anyone in the game. And as you can see, yes, 39 points, and I swear I can still go to QP and play with this deck. Not single other division will allow me to build my division on 39 points and still go to quick play and win somebody. That's ridiculous. Let me quickly rebuild this division as it was then. What I added there? This Hellcat on B, another AT on B. Here we can add more machine guns. Here we can add more commando snipers. 1, 2 cards of them actually, and also what did I? Also I took some fighters, even on 2 vets. I guess it was looking like this. Alright, let's go step by step. The best air force of the game, Hellcats, fast, medium resilience. At least these 80 rocket planes were nerfed, thanks to that. The best off map of the game, with the biggest circle of them all, and also Threat Centaurs, because why not, this division can't have any weakness. The best AA type of the game probably, since Crusader AA is still buffers, with armor, with speed, with 10 health. I'd even in my previous video joked that I suggest we add this unit also an AP round or heat round like Nimrod. Let this thing also kill tanks, because why not? This division, considering we can't even nerf this availability, why don't we buff them instead? Since clearly somebody don't want this division to suffer. We have only one real weakness of the division is lack of AT guns in A and B phase, but come on, all your infantry are commando and have Piats, you still have light armor of your own, you have phenomenal AT planes, so you won't even feel that you don't have any AT guns. Achilles and Firefly will get rid of enemy heavy armor, so even playing against heavy tanks you won't suffer. Support is pretty good, and you also have heavy tank with 150mm of armor, because if your enemy will try to play with light armor, you can just bully them with your heavy tank, which is very hard to kill. Soviets really struggle against this thing. Shermans for supporting your infantry, however your infantry is so broken, so I even don't know why do you need to support this infantry in the first place. And commando snipers. Only 2 men, but I swear when you fight against them it feels like it's not 2, it's 10 men. Because it's very hard to kill them. And Staghound as your light armor. If you want to win any opponent on any map playing with only one hand, pick SSB and pick this off map, you will be hated by anyone. And the funniest thing, this is the infantry division, and still pretty good choice for example Slutsk and Slutsk West still can slap even the heavy tank divisions, because why not? Ridiculous, but this division in game, so I should include it in this list. If you really want to just relax, play this game, pretty good division, without the jokes. And the last of the allies, CI-ABG. A quick spoiler, Cromwell 7 will be nerfed. Finally, I complained a lot that why KV-1E, which historically had 100mm on a hull and 100mm on a turret, received 110mm in game, while Cromwell historically had here 100mm and here 63mm, for some reason received 120. Now it will be 105, which is very historical. I'm glad that this will be fixed, and it will receive more availability. It will be pretty good tank still. But let's return to the division itself. CI-ABG always played from spam. You need to spam a lot of units, accumulate them and throw at your opponent. It's very hard to kill this cheap and numerous infantry with a lot of health. And you have Zenith force UCQC, but you will run out of them pretty quickly, and now it's pretty hard for CI-ABG to fight in a close range. Before Man of Steel it was possible, you just throw your opponent with bodies and you won. Right now you can't do that. But you need to play mostly with your tanks, with combination of Cromwells. This Churchill is a thing you need to can play, not Valentine, because this is the same thing as Valentine, but APCR swept on that. You still have Cromwell 7s, still have Fireflies and heavy tanks. A lot of 2k HE, a good AT, also pretty good AA, which can complement your AT as well. A lot of artillery, you can take a lot of big guns, and pretty good yet limited air force, but still you get Typhoons. I pick Spitfire because it's more agile and can turn and re-aim quickly, much quicker than Typhoon. But yeah, pretty strong division on almost any map. I won't say it's pretty hard to fight against the IBG, but very annoying, and it's really hard to play against this division in terms that it's not many mistakes you can make. Since enemy tanks are cheap and numerous, it can be very hard to get rid of all of them. Okay, finished with the allies, let's go to the Axis. First Division, 20th Panzer. Very solid division. Unfortunately, I still don't receive any feedback from Koenig on whether I lost with this division on Turnix or not, since I'm sure I've never lost with this one. Since the division is very reliable, on absolutely any map you can construct it specifically to counter any opponent of the game. You have a lot of different cards, yet it's old division, one of the oldest ones, so building it can be tougher, however it's still pretty friendly in that regards. You have Cluster AT, pretty good plane with medium resilience, good artillery with Wolframen, radio mortars off map, good AA, Flux 43. I've heard an opinion that this thing is better than buffers, even with combination of price and its effectiveness as a whole. Good AT with a lot of Mardas, phenomenal support with a lot of 1500 meter HE tanks and Guerrilla as well. Good tanks. If you have Panzer III, it means this is a requirement for German division to be good, actually, to be now, since it's light armor meta. And you have Beuter Stalin in case you need to KAT. You can swap his 2 for Pak 43, however I'm very disappointed with this gun lately. It shoots pretty slow, very expensive, very vulnerable, so Beuter Stalin can be even a better choice. And you have a good infantry. With addition of Stoss troops, this division is actually very good in the forests. And as an infantry, you have pretty sufficient recon. Yeah, good division. Next up, we have 26 Panzer. Konos in the last couple of days really showed me why I don't need to play against this division. Very strong division. Yes, you don't have any AT planes, that's a weakness, but in a bombers regard everything is great. Limited but good options for the artillery. You probably need to choose Wolframen or SK-18. Division received new SFL 4C. For super heavy tanks, it will be pretty good against them. Famo also received buff, now it's 10 health, so you can kind of use it against tanks, but still I probably won't recommend it. But if you like it, why not? For the AT, unfortunately you don't have any light ATs, but Pak 40s will... If Pak 40 is the only gun you stuck with, it's pretty good actually. You still have Marders, you can swap it for Jagdpanzers, and Stuka M43, but with the addition of Panzerfail. It depends. In some situations Stuka is better, in some situations Sfail is better. You have plenty of 2K80 and 1500 HE tanks. Again, Panzer III and also Zemavente with 715 meter range and very fast firing gun, 14 rounds per minute. This thing for 40 points is ridiculous, very effective unit. And for 2K80 you have Panthers, very reliable heavy tank. Division even stronger in CQC than 20th Panzer because you have Stoster Berettas. Beretta is the second best submachine gun of the game after Suomi. And you have only 2 cars of Panzer Grenadiers MG42, but MG34 is still not that bad infantry after all. And you have autocannons, so pretty good all-round division. And next up we have the best German and Axis division as a whole, Panzerlehr. This is a unit which makes this division that good. For 25 points you get standard Panzer Grants plus Panzerschreck swept on that. And yes, for 5 points cheaper than regular Panzer Grant. At the price of the mandatory to go with half track, so you need to take into account that this division's transport is very slow. Your Pioneers and Sturm Pioneers need to compensate for that. But when they arrive, they will rock. It's very hard to beat this infantry since they beat most of the infantry by their own, and it's very hard to use light armor against them. Situation is similar to Force Armored, for example. And other than that you have good air with Focke-Wulfs. You have very good artillery with Nebelwerfers. This thing is better than Wurfrahmen. Just make sure that you move this artillery piece after firing. As an AA you have Wirbelwinds. If you keep them safe, enemy won't be able to fly over you at all. Still good AT, almost the same as 26 Panzer. You have 2KHE. Good tanks. You have Panzerforce, a lot of Panthers and Panzer IIIH. Worse than L version, but still light armor is a light armor. And you have a lot of armored cars and recon options. Pretty good all-round division. Kind of weaker in CQC, but with your CQC you need to combine it with your artillery and naval warfare. Otherwise, division is pretty good. Okay, next up, Group Hardneck. I really hesitated whether to add this division or not, but since we have much less Axis divisions than Allied ones, I decided to add it. I'd say Hardneck is probably the weakest out of them all. It's not quite unbeatable, but still on almost every map you can still fight most of the opponents. Division is pretty comfortable. On 2K you kind of struggle since Tigers is the only thing which you have here, and Tigers are kind of sad right now. But still, with the air, pretty good. You have Messerschmitt 410, a very good AT plane with increased range right now, and pretty good heavy bombers. With artillery you have phenomenal artillery in face of Mercer. This thing can kill IS-2s under radio, and these little annoying guns come with combination of the mortars. Limited with AA, but you got to get the job done. Pretty versatile AT tap, you have a lot of options, pretty good one. 2KHE, 500 meter tanks, For the tanks, limited, but again gets the job done. You have T-34 as your infantry support, Stuk 3 as your medium, and Tigers for 2K. And this division really shines in its infantry department, is very strong in CQC. With Stoss troops, White Jaegers is now kind of aftermachi of the Axis side. Just don't forget to turn off the rifles so they won't stuck shooting at enemy outside of the submachine gun range. And because the Panzerfaust, they very good against light armor in towns. White Jaegers will dominate opponent on yellow cover and also still have some Molotovs. And Hungarian infantry with triple machine gun is also no joke. Have regular Panzergrenz as well as Grenadier DP, but it's more like a cheap infantry option. And you have armored cars, not armored cars but autocannons. And last we have 2nd Pancheros. It was very strong division, but now it's still strong but not OP as it was before. You have phenomenal AT plane. This thing is very hard to intercept, very fast, will kill almost guaranteed. Me-210, good air support. You have good Hungarian gun. Nimrods were absolutely cracked before the nerfs, so right now they have only 8 health, so they die with 1 shot against most of the cannons, but when it had 10 health, this thing were able to kill recon, infantry, tanks, support, anti-tanks, another AA and air. The only thing it really lacked, it didn't have indirect support, so it will be able to counter battery as well. But it was very funny. With AT you kind of limited, but still gets the job done. You can maybe get rid of the bazookas since you have plenty on the infantry tab, but still you don't have 2KAT, that's 2KHE, I'm sorry. That's a real weakness. You can't really use these guns as your 2KAT, 2KHE. But it's still pretty survivable. And phenomenal mix of tanks, Turans of both kinds, medium armor and panzers. Also this ace is very unique, it's the only ace in game which has double veterancy. With infantry, kind of similar to Force Armored, but worse in anti-infantry guards. Yes, you have a lot of bazookas, but infantry mostly have only 1 machine gun, so you need to be careful fighting enemy infantry. And you have pretty okay recon time. Alright, that's all for today. These 12 divisions, you can pick absolutely any, go to quick play, and you always have a chance to beat any opponent on any map. Very good divisions, and maybe even after the next update most of these divisions will still be okay. Not okay, but pretty strong. I doubt that something will change drastically. Right, thank you for watching.